now we will talk about chapter 9 about the pointers in C++. So, what is a pointer? So, getting the address of a variable. So, every variable in C++ is stored at the memory at some certain address. Okay? So, if you want to store this address of the variable, we can use this AND operators to get the address of the variable. For example, here we define a variable num of type integer, and the value of this variable is minus 99, for example. Okay, this variable is stored in the memory. If you want to know what's the address of this variable, you make cout and num. So this will print the address of this variable. It will not print 99 minus 99. It will print some strange number. This number represents the address of this variable. So we can define a variable, not normal variable, but a variable that holds address. So it's called pointer. Pointer variable, often just called a pointer. It's a variable that holds the address. So the normal variable is holding a value. Okay? But now we want to define a variable that can hold an address and not a value. So because a pointer variable holds the address of another piece of data, it's point to the data. That's why it's called pointer. Because actually this variable, this new variable, pointer variable, is not holding a data, it's holding an address, and this address is like pointing to another place in the memory, and the other place is holding a value. So we will see examples soon, but just to remind you, we took pointers before. For example, when we deal with array, we say when we give a function an array, so this array numbers is like a pointer. So let me show how it's working. For example, we have a function called show values. It takes array values and the size. So the values actually it's address of the array. So it's where the array starts, okay? So we have this. We said this is called by reference. So that's why this is very similar to the pointer concept. We also took something like when you define a function, if you define this function to take and donuts, then this function has the address of the variable and it can actually change the value of this variable, right? So let's us take example. Imagine you in the main function you call get order jelly donuts. So this jelly donuts variable, you take the address of it and give it to this function. And this function can change the value of this variable, which is jelly donuts. So we took like something similar to pointers before, but in this chapter we'll focus more about this concept. So pointers are yet another way of using memory address to work with piece of data. Pointers are considered low level, more low level than arrays and reference variables. So because you deal with the memory and you deal with the address of the memory. So normally in modern language like Java or Python, we don't have pointer. So you don't need to use that. But if you want to go to the details of the details, then you can use a pointer. So this means you are responsible of finding addresses you want to store the pointer and correctly using it. So how to define a pointer variable? If you want to define a normal variable, you write int and you write the name of the variable. But if you want to define a pointer variable, you have to make star before the name of the pointer. And usually as a convention, you write BTR as a part of the name. So at the end of the name of the pointer variable, you write BTR, like pointer. So this is int BTR means integer pointer, okay? So int BTR can hold an address of an integer, okay? Because it's type integer. So if you, in this variable, you don't store integer value, you store address of an integer value, something like this. You can write it like this, you can make the space before the star, you can make it before and after, you can make it after, all of them are correct. So let's see example. If you want to assign an address to a pointer variable, so here we define a pointer variable, okay? And if you want to store an address in this variable, you write int ptr and then and num. And num will just take the address of the variable num. So imagine the address is this. You store this in the variable called int ptr. So int ptr is a pointer variable. This is a normal variable. Okay. By this line, I decided to store the address of this variable in this pointer variable. Okay. So this is what meant by this line. So this is example. Here we define normal variable x equal to 25. And then I defined a pointer variable. I didn't give it any value yet. Here I decide to give it value. I stored in this ptr the address of the variable x. Okay. So when you print x, if you print x, it will print the value of x, which is 25. If you print ptr, you will print what? The address of that value x, variable x in the memory, which is some number. Yeah. So the indirection operator, this is star is called indirection operator. We can use it if you want. For example, if you want to print not the address, if you don't have star here, you will print the address of the variable x. Okay. But if you make star in the printing, it's like you don't want to print the address, you want to print the value in that address. Okay. So here it's like you are printing the 25. So let us take example again. We define x equal 25. We define a pointer variable, and then we decided to make the pointer variable equal to the address of x. Okay. And then I wanted to print x. So when you print x, it will print 25. Easy. When you print star ptr, then you want to print the value in that address. What is the address of the ptr? ptr has the address of x. When you have star, you want to print the value of that address, which is the same as value of x. So it will again print 25. Okay. Now imagine you say star ptr equal to 100. So you go to that address, you want to change the content of that address or the value at that address to 100. So actually this will even change x to be 100. Okay. So when you print x now, it will be 100. When you print the value at that address, it also will be 100. So here 25, 25, 100, 100. So last section in this chapter, the relationship between arrays and pointer. So actually the array name is just a pointer. Array name is the starting address of an array. So it's like same like pointer because the pointer is an address. So int vals, so 4, 7, 11. So the address of this 4 is vals. Okay. So actually the vals contain some address, and this address is the address of the first element. If you print vals, if you print the name of the array, if you remember we did this before, you will get some address. Okay. But if you print vals of 0, it will print the content of the first elements in the array. So again, int vals. If you print not vals, but the value at vals, it will print 4. Because vals contain the address of the first element. Star vals will contain the value of the address of the first element, which is 4 in this example. Okay. So the pointer can be used as array name. So for example, if you define a new pointer, this is value pointer, and you give it the same address as vals, you can use the pointer name as array. Look, val pointer 1, this will print 7. So this will be similar to vals. I can use it as well. Yeah. So this will print 7. This is example. I define array called numbers of type short. So if you want to print the first element, if you make star numbers, it will print 10. Because numbers is address of the first element, and I make star, so I want the value of the address of the first element, it will print 10. So sometimes here we define two things. We define array, and then we define a pointer, okay? And we make the val point btr equal to vals. So the pointer here, this pointer, is holding the address of the array, the first element of the array. So in C++, it's allowed to write something like val btr plus 1. What means plus 1? Plus 1 means don't take the first element, take the elements after it in the array. Because now this is pointing to the first element in the array. So when you make plus 1, you take the second elements in the array. So when you print, if you make star before it, it will not print the first element in the array because of the plus 1. It will print the second element in the array, which is 7. If you make a plus 2, it will print the third element of the array, not the first, not the second, okay? But here, make sure to use parentheses. So again, just summary of the array access. So we have many options now to access array using the pointer. So we can use array name like vals, and you use the index, you get the values. You can use the pointer that points to the array name, and you use the index, you also get. You can use the name of the array and make a plus 2, so you access the index 2 of the array, but you have to make star. Or you take the pointer plus 2 and then you make star, and then you access the same. There are 4 ways to access elements in the array. So previously this is the most famous one, but now we see that option we can access it using different ways. So when you write vals I, this is equivalent to star vals plus I, okay? In C++, there is no checking if we go outside the array. So you have to take care and make sure that you don't go outside the array. Because for example here, when you make a plus 2, you get 11. If you make a plus 3, you go to the memory to the place after 11 and take that number. It will be a strange number for sure, okay? So this is another example. We have array of doubles, okay? The name is coined, and we define a double pointer. So double pointer means a variable that can hold address of a double, okay? And we have int count. We make the double pointer pointing to the array, okay? And now we print, here is the value of the coins array. So we make a loop, and every time we print the index 0, 1, 2, 3 till the number of coins. But here you use the double pointer, which is okay. You can use the name of the array, which is coins, add coins of count, or double pointer of count. They are the same, right? We make them same address. After that, you want to print it in a different way. So you write it coins, this is the name of the array, plus count, so the first time plus 0, but you have to make a star to print the value. So in this example, you are printing the array using 2 different ways. The first way is just take the pointer name and then you make the indices. Second way is that you make the array name and you make plus and then you make star and then you access the same way. So that's a summary of the pointers in C++, and see you in the next chapter, inshallah.